It's 8:56 right now, and thousands of American homes may be in trouble after being built with Chinese drywall, which has been...
Then, starting today, there will be some changes in how cigarettes are marketed and sold. We'll talk with a nonprofit anti-smoking group to break down the new rules and the reasoning behind them.
And are you struggling with body weight? Is it genetic? Felicia Stoler is the author of Living Skinny in Fat Genes with a G. She'll join us with some ways to work toward a healthier, fitter life, no matter what your heritage is.
All right, we're coming right up on 9 o'clock now for this hour, and as I've been telling you for a good part of the morning, you don't need me to tell you, really.
Right.
It's hot out.
Me too, Tucker. Thank you so much. If you've got big-boned relatives, you've heard that term, is it your destiny to carry some extra weight yourself? Is it fair to blame your genetic makeup of when you can't fit into your designer jeans? Should you blame your genes with a G? Our next guest says that we've fallen into bad habits about our diet and nutrition, and that some re-education could lead to healthier, happier, and fitter lives. Felicia Stoler is a registered dietitian, a nutrition consultant, and author of Living Skinny in Fat Genes. First of all, may I say kudos on the title. I love that.
Thank you.
I love it. Very, very good. So what is the answer? So I say my mom was heavy, my dad was heavy. That's why I'm heavy. It's just going to be that way. True or false?
False. You know, what it really comes down to is lifestyle and behavior and choices. We can blame our genes. It's a really easy excuse to explain why we're not doing something, maybe why we're not doing a better job at achieving our health goals. But, you know, what we found is that it takes many generations for genes to express themselves in terms of changes. So it's really, unfortunately, down to the environment and the choices that we make.
That's so interesting. And you've brought some things. I just don't want to not get to them. So these are examples of ways to maybe
make some better choices in our diet. So, for example, you know, in the early 90s, they were talking about don't eat fat, right? Eat fat-free. And what we found is that, well, we do need fats. And then the question is, what type of fats do we need? Monounsaturated fatty acids, polyunsaturated fatty acids. We did away with trans fats. Those came out of foods. And we know to stay away from saturated fats and to stay away from fried foods. So if you look here, I brought some olive oil, which, you know, everybody knows about olive oil. But what's new and exciting is you're going to start seeing this Malaysian palm oil, this orange oil here. This is a particular blend that has canola oil with it. What's nice about it is that it has just the right blend of heart-healthy oils. It has a very high smoke point, so especially for the summertime, it's really great for grilling your vegetables. And what color is that?
Orange.
So it's very high in beta-carotene, more so than carrots. So if you think about the antioxidants that are in there as well, you're going to be getting that. And then I like to always have some fresh fruit around in the summertime because fruit and fiber you know, are really good for us. And I have some low-fat dairy here as well, fat-free dairy. I've got some skim milk here, and I also have some of the Greek yogurt, which is really, really popular.
Yes.
You know, and instead of ice cream, and I love ice cream once in a while, but what I like to do is use the vanilla yogurt with some fresh fruit, throw a little bit of either granola or cereal on top, and that can make a nice little parfait. You were saying you have kids, for kids and for adults as well.
Right. Oh, just little changes.
Small changes.
Right. Okay. I wanted to move on. I have so much to talk to you about. Basically, let me ask you back to the genes, because that's the book there. Do you think that it all leads to maybe what we allow ourselves, if we look at our dad or our mom and we say, well, that's just how I'm made up? Is there any connection there? Well,
we can look at it that way, but you know, the research shows if one parent is overweight, you have a statistical likelihood of being overweight, but you can't tease out what's the environment. But you know, the flip side of looking at that is if I'm an overweight parent, I want to give my kids the gift of health, and I would not want my children to be overweight. And I think as families, we have to work together towards making better choices. And so the better choices are better food choices, portions, and the other thing is physical activity. There's no getting around that. You know, there's no magic food combination that's going to make it all go away.
And you also say don't get rid of whole groups. I mean, we heard a lot about no carbs, you know, that was the big one. But you say don't do that. Don't get rid of a whole group.
A little bit of everything, because once you remove something, you drive up your desire for it. So if you take out carbs, then the minute you get to carbs, you pig out and you eat too much of it. And the fact is, you know, carbohydrates are, you know, everywhere in our diet, and we need them. Our bodies rely, pretty much exclusively on carbohydrates, so we really need that, carbohydrates and fat.
But it's just knowing which ones, right?
That's right.
You're not talking about cake.
No, I'm not talking. Well,
you're not talking about a big thing of bread.
It's flour, it's eggs, it's milk. No, but really, if you think about foods eating from the ground up. So eating whole grains, eating foods as close to the way that they're found in nature. Right. Less processed foods. So, eating grains, getting fruits, getting vegetables in. Because some people eliminate fruit because they think it has sugar, and we've demonized the word sugar, and that is not the case. And the same thing with fats too. It's okay to have fats. What is important about fats is carrying fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. You've heard so much about vitamin D right now, and that we're deficient in it. So we need to get more of it. And dairy products are a great way of getting that in as well. And even now with dairy, we've found research that looks at using milk and yogurt as replacement after sports. So these things that are just, naturally occurring that come from animals and things around us can be a really great way to improve our diet.
Right. And you can't cut out the exercise. That's the other piece, right?
At least an hour a day. You need to be physically active. I'll use the physically active versus exercise. But like a really quick tip to give people, if you could take a 5-minute walk every hour, the typical person works, let's say, an 8-hour day, you could accumulate 40 minutes of physical activity, and it counts.
I love it. All right, Felicia Stoler is a registered dietitian and a nutrition consultant. The book is called Living Skinny in Fat Genes. Continued success to you. Thanks for coming by and seeing us.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back.
On the next Wendy.